Hi, boys and girls. This is Mr. Yates and Ms. Garcia, and we are going to be going over the Chapter 12 Review Test. This is the Chapter 12 review to help you get ready for our Friday Chapter 12 test. So please pay careful attention to the right answers here and see where you made your mistakes, see what you need to correct, and also see if there's any areas where you might need some extra help on. Ms. Garcia and I are here to help you if you are stuck on something. So after you check all of your other assignments and see if you can figure it out that way, just talk to us and we'll be able to help you out. We're going to go ahead right now. Ms. Garcia will start off with number 13, and I'm going to flash on the answers here so you can see what the correct answers are.
Alrighty, so for both 13 and 14, they wanted you guys to name each polygon as well as determine if it appears to be regular or not regular. So for number 13, they said that it was a pentagon because they counted the sides and they ended up getting that there were 5 sides, which means that it would be a pentagon. And then to say whether or not it was regular or not regular, they said that it is not regular because not all sides are congruent, which means, and in case you forgot, congruent means all sides are the same shape as well as same size.
Exactly. All right, so over here on number 14, I counted the sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hex and 6 mean the same thing. So this is a hexagon, and it's regular because each one of the sides of the hexagon are congruent. Like Ms. Garcia said, congruent means they're exactly the same size. We're going to go ahead and move on down now to our 15 and 16. And let's go ahead and scroll over to here. And go ahead and tell us about number 15, Ms. Garcia.
All right, so for both 15 and 16, they wanted you guys to describe the attributes of each quadrilateral and then classify what the quadrilateral is. So for number 15, they said the opposite sides are congruent, which means same size and same shape, as well as parallel, which means that they will never intersect.
Oh, my
and
God. Hold on, Ms. Garcia. I'm drawing some weird shapes here that I thought were supposed to be little nice arrows, but they're very freaky looking. Sorry about that.
I was like, whoa, we're coloring it in. Okay, so for the second part, it says classify the quadrilateral, and they classified this as a parallelogram. And Mr. Yates found the handy dandy arrows here, and so that shows you guys what the opposite sides are. So where the arrows are pointing, so it's the left and the right side, and then it's the top and the bottom ones as your parallel sides. And so yeah, that concludes number 15.
And on number 16, we're seeing that the opposite sides, that means the top and the bottom side, and the left and the right side, the top and the bottom are parallel, and the left and the right are parallel. So opposite sides are parallel, and all 4 sides are exactly the same, so they're all congruent. There are 4 right angles, 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes this a square. And now we'll go ahead and move on down. I'm going to get rid of should have gotten rid of the annotations here. Let me do that really quick. Clear those out. All right. And let's go ahead and we'll take a look down at the bottom.
Alrighty, so looking at number 17 and 18, it says describe the faces, which are the sides of the figure, the edges, which are right where, Mr. Yates, can you kind of point to the edges, just so like,
Sure.
just for a quick like reminder for them?
Yeah,
sorry.
let me go ahead and put it out. Let me do a nice long, so you can kind of see.
Yeah, so an edge is going to be where 2 faces meet, or where 2 faces meet, and then vertices, which are your guys' corners. And they wanted you to find all 3 of those for each 3-dimensional figure, and then they wanted you guys to identify each figure. So for number 17, they said that the figure has 6 rectangular faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. And then they identified it as a rectangular prism. And just be mindful of your guys' spelling right here. And if you guys misspelled it, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and fix that and then just write it down what kind of error that was.
Great. And over on number 18, we're going to see that this figure has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. It has 9 edges, and the edges again are these points where the faces meet. And then it also has 6 vertices, and those are the corners that are where 3 faces meet. And because, and I'll show this to you right here, because there's a triangle, you can kind of see the triangle right here on this prism, and there's one on the other side too. This is called a triangular prism. And like Ms. Garcia said, please pay attention to how you spell the word triangular. Spelling will count on our test coming up on Friday, so pay close attention to how you spell words. We're going to go ahead and move on. And we'll switch over to the next page. All right, go ahead, Ms. Garcia.
Alrighty, so looking at number 19, it says a triangle forms the front of the Pantheon. Oh my gosh, I said it right that time, right? Pantheon?
Right.
Yes, all right. The front of the Pantheon in Rome, Italy. Classify the triangle based on its sides. So they first wanted you guys to identify it based on its sides, and then they wanted you guys to classify it based on its angles. So make sure that you guys are reading very carefully on this one. So when you guys classified the triangle based on its size, or sides, not size, you guys should have gotten isosceles triangle. And now that's because that means 2 sides are the same on a triangle, is how an isosceles triangle is defined. And be very mindful of your guys' spelling on this one, because even I mess up on spelling an isosceles triangle. So completely understandable. If you made the mistake, it's totally fine. Just go ahead and fix it and write down what kind of error it was. And then they wanted you guys to classify it based on its angles. And they identified it as an obtuse triangle, which means the triangle has one angle that is greater than 90 degrees. And Mr. Yates circled which angle that is. It is the top one of that Pantheon. So that concludes number 19.
We're going to move on down to number 20. And basically, Sean keeps his photos in a box like the one shown. Now, on the book, they give you answers just as the number with inches cubed. It's very important for you on the test to make sure that you use answer sentences. So we're going to ask you to type in a full answer sentence. So if it asks what's the volume of the box, please say the volume of the box is in your answer sentence. On this one, the answer is 288 cubic inches. And I am really going to be looking to make sure that on the test, you guys include the little tiny 3. Now, the little tiny 3 is going to be really kind of hard for us to type in when we're actually typing the test. If you just want to type it in, and I'll kind of show you an example right here. If you just want to type it in like this, inch with a 3 next to it, Ms. Garcia and I will know that that actually means that it's cubic inches. It's kind of the technology issue, so we can't do the exponent 3, but if you type it the way I just showed you here on the screen, you should be able to, we'll know what you mean, and it'll count as okay. But if you leave it out, nope. So make sure that you put that little 3 in for cubic inches to show the volume. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on down. And let me clear off this really quick, and then we can move on to our next part. All right. Go, Ms. Garcia.
And did we skip number 21?
Yes, we did. This one, like Ms. Garcia reminded me, is one that we said we were going to skip. So you didn't need to do this one, so we're not going to go over it. So we'll move on to the very next one. So close down. Oh yeah, we're just at the very final one, number 22. And,
great. So Number 22, it says find the volume of the composite figure. So this is the one that in the, when we went over how you guys should be doing this, you have to find the volume of each figure. So you wanted to find the top little rectangular prism, the volume of that one. And then you had to take whatever volume you got for that one and add it to the volume of the bigger rectangular prism on the bottom. So if you did that, then after you added both of those volumes together using the formula length times width times height on each one, I should say, you guys should have gotten 3,421 inches cubed. Now make sure you guys have that inches cubed at the end. And make sure that you guys are using an answer sentence on this one. So you guys should have written something similar to the volume of the composite figure is, and then write your 3,420 inches cubed right there. So yes, that concludes our number 22.
Great. And boys and girls, that is pretty much let me clear off of here, clear all the drawings. And then that is pretty much it for our test review. If you're stuck on something, I want you to email Ms. Garcia or myself we can help you out. Use the work on this test, use this video from the test as your cheat sheet to help you with the Friday math test for Chapter 12. Because everything that's on here is going to be very similar to what you're going to be finding out on the Chapter 12 test, so you can use it. And again, if you have any questions, just let us know. And thanks again, boys and girls. Bye-bye. And I'm almost done.